When the open office first appeared, it was sold as the future of work. No walls, no cubicles, no closed doors.
It sounded almost utopian. Just people, ideas, energy, movement. The office would stop feeling like a maze of boxes. But then something strange happened. Workers began describing the same problems again and again. Noise, distraction, stress, fatigue, a constant sense of being watched, even in a room full of co-workers. The office became more open, but the mind became more fragmented. The problem was never simply that it was loud. The real problem is that the open office turns your attention into public property, and the reason it spread was money. Open plans are cheaper, dramatically cheaper. You fit more workers per square foot without walls or private rooms. The story was collaboration. The spreadsheet was square footage. It was sold as culture but bought as savings. In a private office, your attention belongs to you. In an open office, your attention becomes part of the room. Every conversation enters it, every movement breaks it. Each becomes a tiny claim on your mind. None feels serious alone. One conversation is nothing. One person walking past is nothing. One laugh is nothing. But the open office is built from hundreds of small interruptions that never announce themselves as interruptions. They destroy focus by making recovery impossible. You are interrupted, you return, you are interrupted again. The human brain is not designed to ignore meaningful sound, especially speech. Language feels relevant, even unwanted. Many offices solve the wrong problem. They add plants and dividers, but the issue is not what you see, it is what you hear. Even when you are not listening, your nervous system monitors the room. Who is nearby? Who is talking? Is that about me? Is my boss walking past? Did someone say my name? Should I respond or pretend not to hear? This is social vigilance. You are not only working, you are tracking the environment. Your attention scans the room like a security system. This is why open offices feel exhausting even on quiet days. The fatigue comes not from tasks, but from exposure. The theory was simple. If people can see each other, they will talk more. But human behavior is rarely that simple. In 2018, Harvard researchers studied companies moving to open layouts. They expected more face-to-face interaction. Instead, face-to-face communication dropped sharply. Email and instant messaging rose. Openness triggered withdrawal. Privacy is not the enemy of communication. Privacy is often what makes communication possible. In an open office, every conversation has an audience. A quick question becomes a public disturbance. So people stop speaking out loud. The office becomes open, but the communication becomes hidden. When a space gives you no control over privacy, you create privacy artificially. Headphones become walls. Calendars become defenses. Status indicators become doors. Do not disturb becomes the new closed office. Companies misread this. They see headphones and think antisocial, but the headphones are evidence of the problem. The company wants collaboration and focus, spontaneous interaction and deep work. The open office pretends these align. The open office is a transfer of responsibility. Instead of architecture protecting focus, the employee must protect it. The system creates the interruption. Then the individual is blamed for being distracted. The cause is spatial. Open offices are not neutral containers. They are behavioral machines. They shape how people move, hide, and signal. Focus is fragile because it depends on continuity. You do not enter concentration instantly, you descend into it. The mind gathers context, it holds a problem, it builds a temporary structure. Then the work begins to deepen. But the open office keeps pulling the mind back. A voice, a movement, a phone, each one breaks the descent. After every break, there is a cost. You do not return to the same place. You reconstruct it, and that is work. A software engineer traces a bug through layers of code, 6 variables, 2 functions, a fragile mental structure. 20 minutes of cognitive construction, gone in 3 seconds of ambient noise. The day becomes almost focused moments. You are there, but not completely. Working, but not deeply. Present, but fragmented. The exhaustion of partial attention. When people can see you, you manage how you appear. You start performing productivity instead of doing it. A 2024 survey found many workers felt more productive at home, and fewer interruptions was a top reason why. The open office promised spontaneous creativity, but creativity is not collision, it is digestion. The mind needs time to absorb, connect, imagine, and return with something worth sharing. A room full of distracted people does not become creative because the walls are gone. It stays distracted. What do you bring to a conversation if you never had time to think? What do you contribute if your day was interruption? Sometimes isolation is not the opposite of connection. It is what makes connection valuable. You can only bring depth to a conversation if you had depth to begin with. Cal Newport calls it deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. The most common office design in America is optimized to prevent exactly the thinking that produces the most value. The space redefined what productivity looks like, and it looks like motion, not depth. The open office turns space into exposure. Exposure creates vigilance. Vigilance fragments attention. Fragmented attention weakens deep work. Weak deep work increases stress. Stress produces withdrawal. Withdrawal reduces the collaboration the space was supposed to create, but the pattern began in the room. Once you see it, the office becomes readable. The long shared table is not a desk, it is a visibility field. The glass wall is not transparency, it is observation. The missing door is not openness, it is lost control. The headphones are not antisocial, they are self-defense. The tired worker is not failing to focus. They are trying to think inside an environment designed to interrupt thought. A healthy workplace lets people choose the exposure their work requires. The open office makes exposure the default. Without that balance, openness stops feeling like freedom. It becomes surveillance with better furniture. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it.